Israeli fighter jets have launched a new wave of strikes inside Iran, hitting multiple oil storage depots and refining facilities near the capital city of Tehran. According to early reports, at least 3 major energy sites were targeted, marking the first time Israel has attacked such large oil infrastructure since the conflict sharply escalated last week. One of the facilities reportedly struck lies near the city of Karaj, just outside Tehran. Residents across the capital describe seeing towering flames and thick black smoke rising into the night sky as emergency crews rush toward the affected areas. The attacks come at a moment of extremely high tension in the region as the United States closely monitors the unfolding situation. President Donald Trump has warned that military operations could expand further if the conflict continues to intensify. Journalists and local observers in Iran say the strikes appear to focus heavily on the country's energy infrastructure. Several refineries and storage depots were reportedly damaged, and there are also unconfirmed reports that nearby industrial and utility facilities may have been affected during the bombardment. Over the past several hours, explosions have echoed across parts of the Tehran metropolitan area. Witnesses describe bright flashes lighting up the skyline, followed by the distant rumble of secondary blasts, suggesting that fuel reserves or related facilities were burning. Analysts say this development represents a significant shift in the conflict. Until now, most attacks had focused on military installations, strategic command centers, or missile infrastructure. Targeting oil facilities, however, introduces a new economic dimension to the confrontation. Among the sites mentioned in early reports is a major refinery complex near the district of Ray, one of the largest refining hubs in the region. Striking such a location sends a powerful message, both strategically and symbolically, because Iran's energy sector remains one of the most important pillars of its economy. Footage circulating online shows large fireballs rising into the air above the city, creating an eerie glow visible from miles away. For many residents, the scenes were deeply unsettling. Officials inside Iran have condemned the strikes, calling them acts intended to spread fear among civilians. State media described the bombardment as an attempt to destabilize the country and undermine public confidence. At the same time, Iranian leaders are projecting defiance. Authorities say the attacks will not weaken the country's resolve and insist that Iran will continue responding to what it calls aggression against its territory. According to Iranian military statements, the country has already launched numerous waves of retaliatory operations targeting sites linked to Israel. These responses have included missile and drone attacks aimed at military and strategic positions. Over the last few nights, air defenses in Israel have reportedly intercepted several incoming projectiles, some described as carrying multiple warheads designed to spread across a wider target area. Iranian officials say their campaign of retaliation will continue as long as the conflict persists. The situation has also raised serious concerns across the broader Middle East. Governments throughout the region are watching carefully, worried that the confrontation could expand beyond the current battlefield. Diplomatic tensions have been especially high after recent comments from Iranian leadership suggesting that Tehran remains open to easing tensions with neighboring countries. However, that message was quickly overshadowed by escalating rhetoric from Washington. President Donald Trump has signaled that the United States may increase pressure on Iran if attacks against Israel continue. Iranian diplomats say their statements about de-escalation were misunderstood. According to officials in Tehran, the message was never meant as a sign of weakness or surrender. Instead, they say it was intended as reassurance to neighboring states that Iran's actions are directed specifically at its adversaries and not at the wider region. Iranian leaders insist their operations are defensive in nature, arguing that the country is responding to attacks on its territory rather than initiating aggression against other nations. Senior figures within Iran's national security establishment have also warned that the broader objective of their opponents is to weaken the country internally. According to these officials, outside powers hope to destabilize Iran by targeting key infrastructure, applying economic pressure, and encouraging internal divisions. So far, however, authorities say those efforts have not produced the outcome their rivals expected. Attempts to trigger widespread unrest inside the country have failed to materialize, and the government maintains that the population remains united despite the ongoing crisis. Officials also dismiss speculation that separatist movements might attempt to exploit the conflict. They say Iran's territorial integrity remains secure and that no such scenarios have taken place. Meanwhile, ordinary residents across Tehran are coping with an atmosphere of uncertainty. While daily life continues in many areas, the sound of explosions and air defense activity has become an unsettling reminder of how quickly the situation can change. Across the region, analysts warn that the stakes are rising with each new strike and counterstrike. Attacks on oil infrastructure carry global implications as well. Iran is a major energy producer, and disruptions to its facilities could potentially affect markets and supply routes far beyond the Middle East. For now, both sides appear determined to continue their campaigns. Iran has promised further retaliation, while Israel maintains that its operations are aimed at weakening threats before they grow larger. As the world watches closely, one question remains unanswered. Will the conflict slow down through diplomacy, or is the region moving toward an even more dangerous phase? The coming days may determine whether tensions stabilize or escalate into something much bigger.